Dear students, in the previous video, we defined Poisson's ratio. And now, let us do a problem on that. See, we have the 15th problem on that only. Let us look at that. A steel wire of length 20 centimeters is stretched to increase its length by 0.2 centimeters. Find the lateral strain. Lateral strain. Lateral strain is asked. If the Poisson's ratio for steel is 0.19, Poisson's ratio given 0.19. Lateral strain means decrease in diameter by original diameter. So this is asked. So here Poisson's ratio is equal to lateral strain divided by longitudinal strain. Longitudinal strain. So now longitudinal strain or see lateral strain is asked, no? This gives lateral strain is equal to Poisson's ratio into longitudinal strain. Poisson's ratio is sigma and longitudinal strain means increase in length by original length. Now Poisson's ratio given 0.19. Increase in length is 0.2 centimeter. Original length is 20 centimeter. So the lateral strain is 0.19 into 0.1 by 10. Therefore, is equal to 0.019. Our next topic is elastic potential energy in a stretched wire. See, first let us consider a spring because it is very familiar to you. In previous lessons, you have considered this. Now you see here this spring is upper end fixed to a support and lower end is free, and here the same spring's lower end is attached to a mass. On the mass, a gravitational force will be working, and this behaves like a deforming force. This force stretches the spring so that there is an elongation. So the spring stretched by this much amount. The spring stretched by this much amount downward. See this force increased the length of the spring. So the work done by this force is stored as potential energy inside the spring, and that is called strain energy. See, here gravitational force is pulling the spring, stretching the spring through some distance. That is called elongation. So, in pulling the spring through some displacement, the gravitational force pulling the string through some displacement, it has done some work. Who done work? Gravitational force has done work, and the work done by the gravitational force is stored as potential energy inside the spring. So that potential energy is called either strain energy or elastic potential energy. See, there is another name. Also, it called as strain energy. Strain energy, elastic potential energy, both are one and the same. So this is in case of spring. Now, let us take a metal wire. Let us take a metal wire. So here we have taken a metal wire. Here it is having some length L, and when you kept a load, when you kept a mass in the pan, mg gravitational force is working on that vertically downwards. So this behaved as a deforming force. This pulled the wire downwards so that its length increased by delta L. Its length increased by delta L. So here who stretched its length? Gravitational force. So gravitational force displaced or it caused extension in the wire. So it means some force is applied and that force produced some extension. It means the gravitational force did some work. So the work done by the force in stretching the wire is stored as elastic potential energy inside the wire, or it is stored as strain energy inside the wire. So now this is the explanation is in the gross level. See, work done is stored as potential energy, that much okay. But why our gravitational force did work? In the microscopic level, let us go. We can take a simple example. Suppose this is Earth surface. This is Earth surface. On the Earth surface, a body is there, a body of mass m. On that, gravitational force is working downward. So, to lift the body upward to some height, we have to do work. First, we need some force. We need some force. How much force is required to lift the body? The force must be at least equal to this. So the external force must be at least equal to this. At least equal to this. And displacement. The body is displaced vertically through some distance h. So the work done is equal to force into displacement, force into displacement, that is mg into h, mgh. So here the work is done by an external agency, that is work is done by you, work is done by you. Why you had to do work? You had to do work because here on the object a force is working downward and you want to lift the body in opposite direction. That's why you had to apply some force and you had to displace through some distance. Therefore, you had to do some work. Otherwise, say, let us take an example. Suppose a body is at some height h. Already a body is at some height h. Now it is dropped there, so it will fall down. See here, gravitational force is downward. Gravitational. So in the direction of gravitational force, the object is falling. Therefore, you need not do any work. The gravitational force itself does work, and the work done is mg into h. So, if the force is in, see here, the work is done by gravitational force. So, when work has to be done by an external agency, when you want to move the object in opposite direction. See, this is a metal wire and this is an empty pan. When some weight is kept in the pan, so on this some gravitational force is produced, and this gravitational force is pulling the wire downwards. Because of the pulling force, the length of the wire increased. So here in increasing the length of the wire, so the gravitational force did some work, and that work is stored as strain energy. But here now what I want to ask is why the gravitational force had to do work. We do work when we apply force in opposite direction and we displace through some distance. See here, if you take the wire, a wire is made of atoms. Suppose all these are this is an iron wire and these are iron atoms. Between any two atoms, force of attraction will be there, and that is called interatomic force or intermolecular force. Between any two atoms, there is force of attraction. So you consider one atom near pan, another atom just above that. So there is force of attraction between these two. So this atom is pulling this atom upward. So the force of attraction is upward and the gravitational force is downward. So this gravitational force is against the interatomic force. That's why to increase the distance between the atoms, in a direction opposite to the interatomic force, a force is there opposite to the direction of interatomic force, and this force increased the distance between the two atoms against the interatomic force. Therefore, some work is done by the gravitational force, and that work is stored as elastic potential energy. Now we have to derive an expression for the elastic potential energy. So now already we had Hooke's law, and according to Hooke's law, according to Hooke's law, stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress is directly proportional to strain. Stress means what? Force by area. Strain means what? Elongation divided by original length. See, we considered experimental determination of Young's modulus. In that experiment, see, once you choose a wire, its initial length is a constant. So L is constant. L is constant. Now, once you select a wire, its cross-sectional area is a constant. But you may say, as you increase load here, if see, this Hooke's law is only for small deformations. If you increase load beyond Hooke's limit, then only the cross-sectional area decreases, the wire thins out, but you are not going beyond Hooke's limit. We are considering the stretching of wire within elastic limit, within Hooke's limit. Therefore, cross-sectional area is also constant. So then you can write directly, since this is a constant and this is a constant, you can directly write F is directly proportional to delta L. In previous lessons, when we discussed springs, we wrote this only. The rest, there Hooke's law, we spoke about Hooke's law as F is equal to minus kx. Their force is directly proportional to displacement. This elongation is nothing but a displacement, and this is nothing but a restoring force. So we arrived at the relation only. So this is also Hooke's law. Okay. Now, and while determining Young's modulus, we have drawn a graph there. On y-axis we have taken force, and on x-axis you have taken elongation. Actually, on y-axis stress is taken, and on x-axis strain is taken. But you can take, since A and L are constants, you can take force on y-axis and elongation on x-axis. Then also you get straight line, because force is, restoring force is directly proportional to elongation. Therefore, for this also we get a straight line. Under experimental determination of Young's modulus, what we did there, we have taken two wires. See, one was a reference wire, another was a experimental wire, and in the experimental to the experimental wire, hanger was there. To the hanger, we went on adding slotted weights. Each time we placed half kg weight. When you placed half kg weight, so gravitational force working on that is mg. So half kg into g value 10, suppose, then 5 newtons. If you add another half kg, you get 1 kg into 10, that is equal to 10 newtons. In this way, you increased the load, so that the force also increased. So those values are like 5 newtons, 10 newtons, 50 newtons, like that. And for each load, the elongation was noted, and the elongation is taken on y-axis. The elongation is taken in millimeters: 1 millimeter, 2 millimeter, 3 millimeter, 4 millimeters. So as the load increased, we observed the increase in elongation also. So with the readings, we have drawn a graph, and that graph was a straight line. So now in the lesson work, power and energy, we had a lesson that you know very well. What is that lesson? Sixth lesson: work, power, energy. In that lesson, see, in the same one we had this lesson. In that lesson, what we learn? The area under force displacement curve gives work done. So here, so this is the graph. So let me draw perpendicular like this. Now this is the area under the curve. So this area gives work done. So here force is increased from 0 to 25 newtons, and elongation increased from 0 to 3.5 millimeters. So for a varying force, here the force is varying. For a varying force, work done is equal to, let me write here, for a varying force, work done is equal to the area under force displacement curve. So here, so the work done is equal to, so this is in the form of a, this is a straight line, this is a straight line, this is a straight line. This is a right angle triangle, and area of a triangle is half into base into height. Half into base. Base is elongation. Height is force. So this much work is done. This work done is, or the work done is stored as elastic potential energy or strain energy in the wire, and the strain energy is shown by a letter U. So the work done is strain energy, therefore strain energy is equal to U is equal to 1 by 2 into F into E. So this is the formula. This is one formula. Half into deforming force into elongation. Now we define another physical quantity: strain energy per unit volume. See, this is the total strain energy for the given wire, and our wire is having some volume. The wire is in the shape of a cylinder, and the volume of a cylinder is cross-sectional area into length. See, volume of the wire is cross-sectional area into length. Okay. Now, strain energy per unit volume. that is denoted by small u, and in V volume U energy is stored. In unit volume, how much energy is stored? 1 by V into U. That is, dividing the store energy by volume, you get strain energy per unit volume. So, strain energy divided by volume. So, strain energy is 1 by 2 Fe divided by volume is AL. So, U is equal to 1 by 2 into F by A, E by L. See here, half into force by area. This becomes stress. Increase in length by original length. This becomes strain. So this is second equation. So strain energy is equal to half into force into elongation. Strain energy per unit volume is equal to half into stress into strain. Let us do a problem on this. Calculate work done in stretching a wire of length 3 meters and cross-sectional area 4 millimeter square when it is suspended vertically and a load of 8 kg is attached. So that for that 4 kg is attached. 4 kg into G value 9.8 or so here we get the force value. So the force is 39.2 newtons. 39.2 newtons. So now calculate the work done in stretching wire. See, in the experiment we gradually increased the load, and when the load was 8 kg weight, the elongation in the wire is this much. So here in the problem elongation is not given. So to find the elongation, let us make use of expression for Young's modulus. Young's modulus, that is equal to F by A divided by change in length by original length, or F by A into L by delta L. So here elongation is required. So delta L, or delta L is equal to FL by AY. But here instead of delta L you are saying E. So E is equal to FL by AY. So in this let us substitute the values. Force 39.2 newtons, L value 3 meters, cross sectional area 4, milli means 10 power minus 3. So square. Young's modulus is 1.2 into 10 power 11. So this is substituting the values. Now, so force is available and corresponding elongation is also available. Now the work done is asked. Work done is nothing but area under the curve. So work done, that is equal to area under curve. That is nothing but a triangle. So half into base into height, that is equal to half into elongation is 24.5 into 10 power minus 5 and height is 39.2. So we get the work done as 0.0192 joules.